Victor, I'm here with a new unboxing, and now I want to share with you what you can find inside of the Champions of Dreadfane from Beastgrave. So this is just, you will see we have here two warbands for Beastgrave and the cards for them. But this is not like the normal warbands, these are the same that we have, they were in Dreadfane before in the game, so if you have the game most likely you don't need this. Okay, but as in Europe you cannot get Dreadfane, so I decided at the end to purchase these ones. First, I can use both warbands in my armies, because this is the Secators. Okay, they come in easy push fit ones, and then we have the Banshees. These are the same that you were able to buy out of the Beastgrave. So if you follow my channel, you will see them painted. I will try to put the link to the video how to paint the Banshees in the description below, but I already did the tutorial. They are quite nice to paint, and I'm glad to have more, because I was thinking to increase my to have a second unit of 4 or increase the unit of 4 to 8. And then we have here two decks. Okay, let me take them out. Now maybe we can zoom in a little bit so you can see even the decks in more detail. Okay, here we have. So we have one deck for the Lady of Harrow's Moreflight, and then we have one for the Iron Souls Condemners. Okay, so let's make a look. This is also, we'll have a different numeration again. So these are the ones for the Stonecast Eternals, the Secators. Okay, and you can see that they will have this symbol that you see here on the top. Okay, these are the three characters from this warband. Okay, so this is the boss. He has all of them move 3. When they get inspired, they still move 3. He has one X attack, so it's quite efficient with 2 damage, 4 lives. Seeing the profile is more or less the same. So he's also doing 3 damage. He's less efficient, but he has knockback, and this guy have also knockback. And then with the and have also 2 damage or 1 damage. This is the one with the big hammer. They all two have the small hammer. Okay, and then they get inspired by this fighter attack roll or defense roll have a crit. Okay, so if you roll a crit, they got inspired. When they got inspired, this guy is winning an additional attack that have cleave and save, so you cannot do dodge or any type of save against this attack, so 2 damage without any type of save, or you can have cleave plus knockback. So they are quite tough in terms of hitting, right? Damage 3 with cleave is quite strong. Knockback, and these also have knockback damage 2, and then the one on the top is more precise. And they all top have other abilities. So when an enemy fighter driving by this attack action push this fighter in the game in the same direction as drive back into the X adjacent to that fighter. So you push him back and then you can follow him, right? This is the same if there one or more crit in the attack roll for this attack action. This attack action has knockback 2, so you increase the knockback, and then the other one have not special rules. They win 1 shield in defense, and on top this guy is moving faster, right? And they become a little bit more precise. He's winning an additional attack. He becomes a little bit faster. He's becoming it's increasing the damage, and this guy is it's mainly increasing the abilities of the hammers plus 1 defense. So it's quite a tough warband. It can be quite and then they have all the cards here are dedicated to this warband. So this is really a constructed deck for this warband, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plots, and then we will have the 10 upgrades and the 12 objectives. Okay, so if we look just to make, so we have, and then this is numbered from up to 64, so because we have 32 cards here for one deck, and we have 32 cards here for the other deck. Okay. So what do you have here, for example? So do up to one objective card and up to one power card, and then discard one objective card. So you drop up one objective card and a power card, and then you discard one objective card. So it's quite it's to move your deck. The first range 1/2 action made by this friendly fighter in the next activation has innate and then support. So you have a support by default. So you, fulminating blast push one enemy fighter up to 1x. So you have different cards here, all dedicated to them. You can, and these are some upgrades. These are upgrades for the Iron Soul and Tabian. The Iron Soul is the boss, and the Tabian is the guy with the shield. Okay, so it's the two guys with shield. You can reroll one dice in each defense roll made by this fighter. So not only you can have two shields. You can reroll one dice attack roll for attack of this fighter. So you can roll attack plus one wound. And remember, this is different than. So you can combine this and you can have 2 plus 1 wound because it's different than the one that we have from the normal deck. So this one has plus 1 move. This fighter treats lethal X as normal X's. Okay, we have here different upgrades. I will not go through them all. And then here we have some of they are writing in a new way all the cards. And this is another collection of 64 cards that you can add in the season of Beastgrave, right? Dual, score this in the end of the phase if there are 2 or more surviving friendly fighters and all friendly fighters are inspired. So yeah, it's what used to be, you need to be 2 at least and inspired. This is score this immediately when an enemy fighter is driving back by a friendly fighter's attack action that have knockback ability. Remember that all of them, there is a moment that will have knockback ability, so this can be quite easy to do. Search, score this immediately after your warband makes a third or subsequent successful attack action in the same phase. This can be quite tricky because you only have 3 guys, right? So these are not, they look a little bit easy, but they are more difficult than may look like. Score this and as phase E2 of or more enemy fighters were taken out of action in this round. So you have to kill 2 or more enemy. So and you have more here, more cards. So this I will not go through them all, but this is the deck of the what you will have a complete deck for the Sekitors, and then you have another deck for the Banshees. So let's make a look to the characters. So we have the Banshees have 4 characters. Okay, so this is going to be more difficult to put them all in the. Let me see if I can put it something like that. So let me here. She is the boss. Okay, so you can see it's less reliable in combat. So have 3 shots. 2 damage, it's quite good in dodge, 2 dice dodge, is decently movement and good health, 4 health is quite good. When it gets inspired, have plus 1 movement and it's increasing plus 1 damage. How this lady gets inspired, this fighter moves through X occupied by an enemy fighter in this activation, so you have to move through an enemy. This fighter treats lethal X, so they have the typical that they treat lethal X and they can move through block and occupy the X. Okay, but of course you cannot finish the movement there. And then when she is inspired, she has a reaction after an opponent declares an attack action. If it does not target this fighter, push this fighter 1x. So you can disengage if you want, if you are not target. Okay. Then we have the other ladies all have. We have this the soft one, softest one that have 2 wounds, or the weakest one, and then we have the 2 with 3 wounds. They get inspired in the same way. You have to move through an enemy. Okay. you can see she's less reliable attacking and have 1 health less than the boss of the warband. When she's inspired, she becomes more reliable, but she's not as strong as the boss, and she's moving 5 as well, so she also increases the movement. And then she gains rolls of a crit do not count as a critical success or successes for defense roll made for enemy fighters against this attack. So people cannot use crits against her attack. So what makes highly defensive warbands makes this interesting against highly defensive warbands. What that means that if you roll a crit with these 3 dice, you are guaranteed that you're going to do the 2 damage because the enemy cannot stop that because the crits are not considered. So on crits, this lady does auto hits when she's inspired. We have the next lady. She's exactly the same as the previous one, okay, in terms of profile, and when she's inspired, she's even more efficient hitting, so he wins even more reliability in the hitting. But on the other side, the crits of this lady are unstoppable, so are a little bit different. And then on a crit hit, this attack action has +1 damage. So she's in a way a little bit stronger with a crit, but can be stopped. This lady cannot be stopped, so it's quite interesting. They are quite strong, to be fair, and this is the weakest one. And when she's inspired, she's winning 1 health. And also, he's the one that hits harder, 3 damage, so it's harder than even the boss when she's not inspired. She gives the 3 damage when she's inspired. It's not the most efficient hitting, with 1 wound and +1 wound. And if this fighter has not move tokens, place this fighter in an empty X and give this fighter a move token. So you can teleport this lady, if I understood. If this fighter has no move tokens, place this fighter in any... Yeah, she can teleport anywhere that is empty, what can be very interesting for holding objectives. So we have here as well, we are going to have 10 plots, 10 upgrades. I'm just curious to see what type of objective they have. So dual, score this at the end of the phase. If there are 2 or more surviving friendly fighters, and each surviving friendly fighter is adjacent to 1 or more enemy fighters. Another duel, score the end of phase if there is 3 or more surviving friendly fighters, and each surviving friendly fighter has 1 or more move and or charge tokens, so you have to move them. This is quite easy. This is quite an easy peasy point, right? But you have to be surviving, so you have this more for first turns. Score this is 3 points, so it has to be difficult. Score this at the end of the third phase if you have scored the most objective cards. This is quite tricky, right? You have to score more than your opponent. More likely it's a card that you will end up taken out of the deck by another one. Score this immediately when a friendly fighter finishes a move action and entered 2 or more different X's that contain 1 objective in that move action. So score this immediately when a friendly fighter finishes a move action and enter 2 or more. So you have to move through 2 objectives at least. Let's do this one search. Score this immediately after an activation if 1 or more enemy fighters each have 1 or more guard tokens. So this is not easy. So score this immediately after an activation if 1 or more enemy fighters. So if they put 1 enemy in guard, you win this point by default. This can be quite interesting, but very unreliable. Very you don't have the control. I like to have objectives that you have the control on. Score this in the end of the phase if there are 2 or more surviving friendly fighters, and 2 or more surviving fighters each have 1 or more wound tokens. So you need 2 wounded guys. 2 if you have 2 or more surviving fighters, friendly fighters, sorry, and 2 or more surviving fighters. They don't have to be friendly. Each have 1 or more wound tokens. So if there is 2 wound people on the board, I will not go through all of them, but you can see This is the 1, 1, 2. So we have a good combination. Let's look just the last one. It's another duel. There is a lot of duels here. It's called this End of the Phase if there are 2 or more surviving friendly fighters. So normally you need 2 surviving friendly fighters, and each surviving friendly fighter is inspired. So you have to have them also inspired. So interesting decks. I'm thinking to test one of these decks directly in one of my next games, and I will try to give feedback. If you want to know how to assemble them, I have a tutorial on well, not to assemble, I have a tutorial on how to paint the ladies, how to paint the banshees, and I also have tutorials on how I'm painting these guys in my channel in case you are interested to know. Yeah, this is all, so what I want to share here, I think. So I will not assemble them now, but just want to share with you, this is how they look like. And yeah, and they are quite nicely detailed, so you can see here, they all have a textured basis. These are the ones that, these were the easy fit ones that they were launched at the beginning when they have launched the new, how it's called this, Soul Wars season, right? So you can see nice decorative bases, and good detail. The quality of these guys, look, the shield, very nice engraved shield with all the detail there. So what you can expect, and these miniatures, I can tell you, they are really nice and they are really fun to paint. They have this corset here. It's so nicely detailed and it's so easy to paint them. With the new technical paints and some wet blending, you can have a very nice result on them, and they look great on the table. So yeah, and I think that's all what I want to talk here. I hope you have liked this one. So this is the Beastgrave, Warhammer Underworlds, the champion of Dreadfane. Okay, so these are the miniatures that come in the Dreadfane with the cars. And now you can have them in here. I would love to have the game, but anyway, it's nice to have at least the box and to be able to use this in Warhammer Underworlds. That's all for now. I hope you have liked. Please leave a like if you have liked this video. Share if you think other people can be interested in that. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching and see you again later. Bye.